I love Assassin's Creed. It is probably my favorite franchise of all time, and I feel a little bit of shame in saying that concerning its current state. Even though things are looking a little better, I still cannot replace that part of my heart that contains Assassin's Creed. I have enjoyed the great games, I enjoyed the bad games, I have basically enjoyed all of it and finished all of it, except for Shadows. I'm probably gonna return to that eventually, but to me, I feel like I'm in an abusive relationship with Ubisoft games. Anyways, what made the original Assassin's Creed great?
We're here in Montreal at Ubisoft, and I'm Patrice Desilets, the creative director of Assassin's Creed.
Patrice Desilets is a name I cannot pronounce, yet he is the man behind the original Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, arguably the best games in the franchise. And this man has left halfway through the production of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, then made a monkey game, and now we're here with Amsterdam 1666. Or should I say it's a demo, because the main game is probably a couple of years away from now, which is a very sad sentence to say, but let's talk about what we have right now. In this video, I want to go over what I thought of the demo that was given to us, what I would want to see in the future showcases of the game, and then I want to answer one of the most important questions of all: does it live up to the quality of Desilets' previous work on AC? Alright, so actually before we get into Amsterdam 1666, fantastic title by the way, I want to talk about my history with AC, a quick one. I will not be here for 5 hours, but I just want to give you a mental image of what I love about AC so that you can understand from what point I am talking. The original AC started out as a fantastic blend of sci-fi and history, colliding in a story that was intertwined with each other. And a lot of people hated that for some reason. I am not one of them. I think one of the greatest parts of the original Assassin's Creed games is the modern day. It is what makes the game special. It isn't just a story set in a certain time period. It is a story set in all of the time periods. It is history itself. And there are so many interesting themes to it, from the Isu artifacts or the Pieces of Eden, to the never-ending conflict between assassins and the Templars and their ideologies, to just, the creation of the Animus. It is such a cool concept to have a machine that teleports you back in time. And I always found the story of these games to be at its best when the modern day and the historical part are interacting with each other. Like in the ending to Assassin's Creed 2, I think if you have played that back in the day or even now, you know how just insane that moment is, and it perfectly plays into the medium of video games. But stories and all, the gameplay was also just so awesome. The parkour, the mission design, social stealth, all the gadgets at your disposal, the freedom and flow of everything. It was basic, yes, but it just worked so well. I think in part because it was so basic. Okay, now that I'm done with my little Assassin's Creed segment, let's talk about the actual demo for Amsterdam 1666. I gotta find a faster way of saying that. Let's talk about the least prominent part of the entire demo, the actual gameplay, because there wasn't really a lot of it. It was mainly just walking, holding buttons. That's kind of it. I think what they did is they focused more on showcasing you the world and the characters, so to get you a little hooked, and they didn't want like a 1 hour long demo, so they just leaned back on the gameplay and just showcased what I think is the most intriguing part of this whole game, the story. And how was the story? I think very good, but very strange, which is why I like it so much. Now, I do not really understand it all that much. I didn't quite have the time to really dig deep into it or something. But on the surface, from what I think is going on, is that the main character in 1666 is a sort of witch, which they call a collector. And we are told that these collectors, protect the world from damnation and all that stuff. I think it's against some sort of demons, because that's the sort of enemies we see in the trailer, which, let me just say, instantly sets in that assassin Templar dynamic, which I love. And this collector has a certain power, suck up energy and enchant objects and, you know, probably fight evil and stuff. She has a cool pointy finger she can use to do all sorts of stuff. Who knows? We are told that this character also comes from an old tribe that uses ancient artifacts and such to like manipulate manuscripts and stuff like that. It's a lot of cool stuff that reminds me of elements of AC, you know, like the Pieces of Eden, you know, like objects of power and stuff. And in the demo we see an initiation ritual sort of thing, where she basically comes up to a tree and chooses a cat, which is like her guardian sort of thing. They have a title for it, which I forgot. There's a lot of names for stuff that it's just, I cannot remember and will probably never remember it. Anyways, the cat is a sort of guardian, and the moment where you pick the cat is where the story gets freaking wild in the demo. Because this cat is actually a guy from 1999 who fricked a collector from 1999, who is also, I guess, the same character from 1666. And he's telling you all of this in a manuscript that his daughter found in like 2020 something, because her father hid it under a statue head. There's a lot of moving parts to this, but I like all of them. Again, it's the whole intertwined story thing. It's different points of history colliding with each other in a seamless way. And the demo basically ends where the collector in 1666 chooses the cat protector, and then I guess the game starts. But overall, I really like it. All the moving parts in between different time periods, I think it's really cool. Even though the way that I explained it is a little strange. I recommend you watch the demo. It's like half an hour long. I think you're gonna get a little bit of a better understanding from it. But I think that the game will mainly revolve around the 1666 timeline and the modern day timeline, with the daughter of the cat, which is a guy from 1999 who is dead, I think. Pretty sure he's dead. I don't know how he died though, because he's a cat. Anyways, I think even though it's a little complicated to talk about because I have such little understanding of it because we have been shown so little, I like where it's going and I like how strange it is. The other aspects of the demo, like voice acting, I think it was very well done. The actual graphics, I think, look very good, even though a tiny bit janky, but it is a smaller team. I love the outfit design for the main character, especially when she transforms. The hood thing with the two flaps, so cool. Also the extending broom, really badass. And the little bits of soundtrack that we got, I think there was even like licensed music in there. I liked all of it. It was very good. It set the mood very well. So like a final rating of the demo would be like I think like a solid 7. I think it has some issues to it, but I think it's very well done and intrigues me, even though I would really want to like play the actual like 9 to 5 part of the game, you know, like the main gameplay loop. I would really want to see that or play that, which sadly we didn't get in this demo. Which brings me to my next point. What would I like to see them show next? The gameplay. Like I said, I really want to see some gameplay, because what we see in the demo is the collector sucking up some power and chanting like torches and stuff like that, and I want to see if that can be done with like a lot of the parts of the environment, because I think if you like mix social stealth and maybe a bit of parkour, you could have a really cool mix of like Dishonored and Assassin's Creed, which, first of all, Dishonored absolutely goated. Assassin's Creed as well, I think it is a fantastic mix. But you also have like they shown a lot of combat and not a lot of this like gadgetry sort of gameplay, which I'm hoping for in the final game. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And I hope that we see it soon, because I think what this has woken up in me is something that I have felt in the original Assassin's Creed. There is just something about the storytelling of Desolate that just clicks in my brain. I love how you are thinking about multiple points in time during like one moment, because it has implications for the future. And these like moments of revelation where, you know, this thing that you like known in the future or in the past, and it like gets resolved in the other timeline, is just so cool. And we are already seeing bits of that in Amsterdam. I really hope we get another demo, and I really hope the game comes out as soon as they're ready for it. But man, I am super intrigued with this, because Assassin's Creed is doing this weird open world, mainly combat focused. We're probably never gonna get Dishonored 3. And overall, these like stealth games with gadgetry, but also free-flowing gameplay and combat, there is just basically none of them at this point in time, and I think this can fill in the gap and maybe even start like if it does really well, I think other studios could look at this and be like, okay, let's make something like that, because I love this genre. Please give me Dishonored 3 right now. I really need it. Please, I've been losing my mind. Anyways, do I think that this lives up to the legacy of Desolé? Absolutely. It does so many things that I love about the AC franchise, but in a new and fresh take that is still intriguing and just a little weird, so you're extra interested in it. I am super excited for whatever else they are willing to showcase, and I will definitely do a full playthrough when this comes out. Let me know if you feel the same, or if you have some criticism that I didn't talk about. Leave that all in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.